People of Reddit who have been abducted by aliens. What's your story? I suggest trying again with the serious tag. They just wanted someone to explain the rules of American football. But I've never watched it and they got pissed at me for wasting their time. After the standard issue but stuff they beamed me back, but it took like 3 hours to walk home. If I talk I will be in trouble. Sadly I live in Europe, they only visit USA. They gave me chicken nuggets and McDonald's Sprite. It was late at night, I was just starting to drift off to sleep, then all of a sudden I'm being dragged out my window by a blinding light coming from this huge UFO. I'm basically teleported into this ship where I see an alien looming over me. Now it was about this time when I noticed the alien wasn't an alien at all, but actually a giant creature, a crustacean from the Paleozoic era. He leans in close and tells me, I need about tree fiddy. I was on my home moon, just minding my own business, when these dudes in a shuttlecock-shaped thing parachuted down almost right on top of me. They bound me, gagged me, then took me to a secret underground facility on the Big Blue Marble. I'm still there today, 54 years later. Help me? Oh, this is gonna be interesting. One time these Canadians threw me into their van, and took me to a nice restaurant and made me use maple syrup. My ass was sore in the morning. Well played aliens, well played. Nice fella. He asked me why are we destroying the planet we live on. I told it don't judge us too harshly please, we are a mess. They made me lasagna alien version then let me go home. They showed me off, tagged me, gave me a snack and beamed me back again. It was a huge disappointment, no anal probing, the spaceship was very untidy and smelly. So there I was, waiting with my 3 friends about to catch the bus to school. One of them keeps telling his annoying little brother he couldn't come. I tell them about this dream I had, where I was taken on board a spaceship and I think they jammed something up their points at butt. Here's a clue: psychosis. I got better. Their story? Just by a science fiction novel. Same thing. Their story begins with mental illness. I don't know if it was really an abduction, but my car broke down near their job site and they gave me a ride into town. They were really nice and I already enjoyed Mexican music and the language barrier gave me a good reason to sit quietly to myself. 1010 would take a ride from aliens again. I used to think aliens were trying to abduct me. Terrified for years. Watched a documentary on sleep paralysis and realized that was what was really happening to me. From that point on, when I had sleep paralysis, I knew what was happening and wasn't as terrified. Plus my husband started noticing the signs and would quickly pull me out of it. Lol. They took me to their mothership and put me in a holding area with some other humans they had also abducted that day. They stole my weed and just abandoned me in the middle of the Jurassic era FML. Had similar experience as Eric Cartman. I was camping. They looked a lot like Sasquatches, and they smoked all my weed. 40 million Americans say they have seen or know someone. Anyone interested in hearing from experiences of this or related phenomena may enjoy our experiences. CYA out there. To be clear, I am not a mod or affiliated with the sub in any way besides being a member. I was never abducted, but I have a personal Hatman shadow person story if you would like to hear it. Seriously frightening stuff. Sleep paralysis is sometimes confused with alien abductions. Well, I'm, Russell, sir. And, after Nam, I got into crop dusting. And, been doing that ever since. On a personal note, sir, I'd just like to add that, since I was kidnapped by aliens 10 years ago, I have been in for some payback, and want you to know that, I won't let you down. One day I'm gonna fly my crop duster up one of those mothership's bungholes, I swear it. Also, gravity is gonna go crazy, but perhaps not in my lifetime. So there I was, having caught the biggest fish you've ever seen, when I was abducted by a flying saucer. I get a sore ass just thinking about it. It happened in my sleep. They abducted me, then they shoved some big metal thing down my butt. I think it was an anal probe. Also the next day I farted fire. It was quite crazy, and the aliens were tall and grey with big black eyes. They kept feeding me their weird alien food called something spacey like Xanax. They also implanted visions into my brain showing my mom crying while mumbling, "It's all my fault, Hez," like this. Might as well ask this on a creative writing sub, because that's what you're going to be getting. When the aliens asked, "Take me to Uranus," I knew I was fucked. There was a time when I was like 6 or 7 and I fell asleep in the basement, but later woke up in my bedroom with no idea how I got there. Nobody has been abducted by aliens. I suffer from occasional sleep paralysis. One time I was paralyzed and dreaming at the same time that I was at my kitchen table and like 4 friends of mine were tickling my face. It felt so real I even woke up laughing. My point is, those stories of people being abducted while asleep might just been a case of sleep paralysis. The amount of people who claim to have been abducted by aliens seems to have sharply dropped off the moment civilization had video cameras everywhere, and everyone carries a video camera on them at all times. Same with ghost sightings. Funny that. Pretty much one big, gay orgy. Saw Arp's dad there, gobbling that alien cock like it was nothing. Nobody here, or anywhere in human history, has been abducted by aliens. We started arguing and they returned me. They called me annoying and kicked me off their ship. Best. Alien. Abduction. Ever can they abduct me again for that combo? The anal probing, I don't want to discuss that. It was a bit traumatic. LOL, you're not getting any serious answer from this subreddit. 310 multiple issues here. Reddit should be capitalized. There should be a comma after the word aliens and before what's. And finally, you assume only people are reading your post. Do better, or don't tie up the internet, please. I was in a truly scary place, felt so alone. Surrounded by technology one didn't understand. Ate artificial poison. Watching a species with no regards for their surrounding or their own individuals. Then the aliens came. Go to the UFO subreddit if you want to talk to schizophrenics. Whenever I tell my story about alien abduction, I'm drunk as hell and my nose is getting longer. That's the bad thing about being a great-grandson of Pinocchio. You might want to try our experiences. They use a different term so as to not feel the negative connotation of victimhood associated with abduction. Well, buckle up folks, cause I've got a story that'll make your tinfoil hat spin. So there I was, minding my own business, when suddenly I found myself on a spaceship surrounded by little green beings. Turns out they were just trying to find the perfect guacamole recipe. I mean, who can blame them? They've traveled across the universe, might as well enjoy some avocado goodness. Long story short, they beamed me back down to Earth because apparently humans taste better with a side of sarcasm. True story. Finally, a real question. So tired of that "why you slept with your sister" nonsense. Because she is hot. S. Thought I was in our stupid questions for a second. Story. At least you used the correct term. So one night I was sleeping and I got abducted and they put an anal probe up my ass and sent me back to Earth, so now I breathe fire. Anyways, long story short, Tom DeLonge was right, aliens exist. The Blink-182 song "Aliens Exist" is accurate.